Jan Habich loses a few seconds to second place John Williams, but still has more than half a minute in the bag. Damso maintains his third, while Lateghan overtakes Klaassen for fourth. Weiss is still in sixth, ahead of Zulu and the Toyotas of Gemmel and Poulter. Van der Westhuizen rounds off the top 10. It's the end of a tough, cold and dusty day one of the Toyota Gauteng dealer rally, which claimed a large number of victims. The rally machines received some well-earned attention, while the drivers had one last chance to reflect on the drama that unfolded on day one and to plan their strategies for day two. JP Damso currently lies in third and therefore on track to record an elusive podium finish.
Position where we're on the road tomorrow is good, and most of the stages we've swept today already. So yeah, I think we'll give it a push tomorrow.
If John Williams can hang on to his current second position, it will be his best result ever.
We're in a good position, and we want to try and push and get a win. I mean, Yanni's won enough over his career. He can give me a chance to win a rally.
And with more than half a minute lead, Jan Habich seems well in control of the Toyota Gauteng dealer rally.
I think our job is to find the right pace at the moment, so it's taking a bit of concentration to decide how fast to go.
Will Habich hang on to his lead? Will Williams record his first ever win? Or will Damso have a say in the outcome? Join us after the break for more Toyota Gauteng dealer rally action. On the Sunday morning, the last day of the Toyota Gauteng dealer rally, and the much anticipated cold front finally hit the East Rand area. It is bitterly cold, and although there are only 5 stages on the cards for day 2, it is clear that today is going to be a tough one. It didn't take long for the drama to start either. It seemed the spectators and the drivers weren't the only ones freezing.
Yeah, the car would not start in the 5 May, so we had to push all the straight here, so it was quite hard with a heavy car. So.
Fifth position overnight is Sebastian Klaassen's best ever performance to date.
We had a clean run, very nice. We're going to try to do it again today, but let's see how it goes.
At the top of the leaderboard, the question is simply, can John Williams do anything to close the 35-second gap to Jan Habich?
Now we're going to try and obviously do our best. These stages are quite fast, so to take like 5 seconds off Yanni will be a lot. So our aim is to just try and beat him on every stage. That'll be great.
But Habich is a wily old fox and knows what it will take to stay ahead.
I think today is really just a matter of maintaining our gap and trying to see if we can control the pace.
Day 2 action once again got underway with another running of the exciting super special stage. Also fitting then that rally leaders Jan Habich and Robert Paisley had to battle it out with challengers John Williams and Cobus Frey over the same piece of dirt road. Williams said that he will do everything to close the gap to Habich, and on stage 6 that is exactly what he did. The Sassel Fiesta beat the Baselweed version, but only by 2 seconds, so not really enough to bother the rally leader just yet. This second battle on the Super Special was also the battle for the final podium position. Hein Lateghan and Johan van der Merwe started stage 6 a full 49 seconds behind third-placed JP Damso and Grant Martin, but the Q8 World's Peugeot driver made his intentions clear by closing the gap to the team total Toyota by a full 5 seconds. Game on! Next up, the Monster Energy Ford Fiesta of Sebastian Klaassen and Cindy Harding, and the BP Volkswagen Polo of Hans Weiss and Bjorn de Gant. Putting money on a Dutchman to win this duel would have been a safe bet, and indeed it was, with Weiss eating into Klaassen's advantage by a massive 11 seconds on just 4 kilometers. Johnny Gemmel and Callan Swan had it all to do for sponsors Toyota on day 2. But their first obstacle was to overcome the BP Polo of Gugu Zulu and Carl Peskin. Gemmel did exactly that by beating the S2000 challenge leader by a full 8 seconds.
After the second and last running of the Super Special, it's across the road for stage 7, an exact repeat of stage 3 from the day before.
This is the time to make a move. For many drivers, the rally was already lost on stage 1, and for the remaining ones, this was the time to try and win it. Jan Habich and Robert Paisley still had a comfortable lead. But something inside the Basil Reed Fiesta wasn't right.
The tyre just pulled off the rim about 2 k's into the stage, so we did 17 k's with the flat wheel.
Habig had to drive around 17 kilometers on a flat wheel, which cost him loads of time. With an advantage of just 33 seconds before the start of the stage, the lead was about to change hands. The Cecil Fiesta of John Williams and Cobus Frey crosses the flying finish, and Williams is your new rally leader.
We had a really good clean stage there. We were pushing nicely.
Thanks to Habig's misfortunes, the team total Toyota of JP Damso and Grant Martin was now in second position. But Damso also knew that Hein Latergan was attacking from behind. The Cape Townian completed stage 7 in a time of 12 minutes and 17 seconds. Hein Latergan and Johan van der Merwe started stage 7 a full 43 seconds behind Damso, and that 43 seconds was now the gap to second position. So the Q8 Oils driver put the hammer down and crossed the flying finish in a time of 12 minutes and 7 seconds. That's another 10 seconds faster than Damso, with Latergan now just 33 seconds behind second position. The gap between the Monster Energy Ford of Sebastian Klaassen and Cindy Harding and the BP Volkswagen Polo of Hans Weiss and Bjorn de Gant was a full 25 seconds before stage 7. So Klaassen was now under fire from his countryman Weiss and recorded a time of 12 minutes and 41 seconds. But Weiss was now getting used to the unique conditions of the Toyota Gauteng dealer rally. On stage 7, the Dutchman once again exhibited a fine display of driving skill to not only win the stage, but to overhaul his countryman Klaassen and climb from 6th to 5th on the overall leaderboard. With just a few but tricky stages remaining, how far up the leaderboard can the Dutchman go?
It was a good stage, I think, but I waited for the time and it was going well, so it was quite slippery.
Behind the Dutch brigade, Gugu Zulu and Carl Peskin were still having a faultless run in their older BP Volkswagen Polo. Zulu was well in control of the S2000 Challenge class, so he had his sights set on a good overall position. Johnny Gemmel and Callan Swan started the stage a full 23 seconds behind Zulu's 7th position, but Gemmel has a never-give-up attitude and kept the pressure on the young pretender. His persistence paid off as a good time on stage 7 saw him overtake the Volkswagen driver as the Castrol Toyota moved up into 7th position overall. There was still a glimmer of hope for rally hosts Toyota to salvage something from their own event, with Leroy Polter and Alvin Putsia also closing in on Zulu's position. The Castrol Toyota crew was now just 8 seconds behind Zulu, but still in 9th. The SA Earthworks Ford Fiesta of Nick van der Westhuizen and Henry Deerlove miraculously still managed to cling onto their 10th position overall, and that in a Super 1600 car. They had no real chance of improving their position, but had a few fast S2000 rally machines closing in on them. The S2000 machines in question were the BP Volkswagen Polo of Enzo Keen and Guy Hodgson and the Basil Reed Ford Fiesta of Charles Wilkin and Greg Godrich. After day 1's disasters, Keen was now knocking on the door of a top 10 position, while Wilkin set the second fastest time of all on stage 7 to also move a little closer to Keen.
A few drastic changes to the leaderboard sees former leader Jan Habig dropping from 1st to 4th, while John Williams is your new leader. Damso and Latergan both gain a position, while Weiss overtakes Klaassen. Gemmel does the same to Zulu. Polter is 9th, with a Super 1600 of Van der Westhuizen still rounding off the top 10. The Toyota Gauteng dealer rally is nearing the end. The crews have one more chance to attend to the rally cars for the final 2 dirt stages, while the drivers reflect on the morning's action. 9th overall is definitely not what Toyota's Leroy Polter had planned for his home event.
No, not at all. I think, we don't know what's happened there now. It's just about maybe 2 or 3 k's from the end. It just got a bad misfire, but we think the engine is, something has gone wrong.
Johnny Gemmel had so far made a bit of a comeback and had every intention to salvage as many points as possible over the last few stages.
Yeah, they're quite long. This is the last gravel stage today. Second one now we're going to 28 k's. That's the one where most of the guys had problems.
And after leading from the very first stage, getting a puncture and dropping from 1st to 4th was definitely not Jan Habig's plan.
No, it was most unfortunate and very irritating, to be honest. 2 k's in the stage, just a long right-hand sweep, a little bit of undulations on the road. It pulled the tyre off the rim, and that was it. So we had an inertia to the end.
One man's pain is another man's gain, and for the first time in his career, John Williams was in control of a national rally.
Yeah, but we've got tough 2 stages still to go. We got the one that caused a lot of trouble on day 1, so we just got to manage it from here on.
Only 2 gravel stages remain before the crews will head to the Swartkops racetrack for their final showdown on tar. Stage 8 at Tweefontein is a repeat of Stage 2 from the day before, but run in the opposite direction. While Stage 9 is an exact repeat from the dreaded Stage 1, the same stage that turned the rally on its head before it even got going.
The Toyota Gauteng Dealer Rally had already claimed the names of championship leader Mark Cronje, former champion Hergen Fekken and Mohamed Musa on day 1, but these drivers decided to re-enter on day 2 under the Super Rally rules. According to these rules, competitors are allowed to run the stages on day 2, but with severe time penalties for the stages they did not complete on day 1. Although they had no chance to record a decent result, Cronje, Fekken and Musa used the opportunity as a test session and set some very encouraging stage times in the process. SA's top rally drivers were now jockeying for their final positions. Charles Wilken and Greg Godrich lost a massive 13 minutes on the opening stage of the event, which dropped them down to 27th overall. Wilken was a pre-event favourite and staged a good comeback on day 2 with a series of very competitive stage times to crawl his way back up the leaderboard. After stage 8, the Basil Reed Ford Fiesta finally broke into the top 10, and after surviving the tough stage 9, Wilken gained another position to end the gravel road proceedings in 9th overall. Enzo Keen and Guy Hodgson were in much the same boat as Wilken. The BP Volkswagen Polo also carved its way through the field on day 2, and after stage 8, the 2010 champions shot into the top 10. But for the second time in as many days, the rocky stage at M&T proved to be their nemesis. Keen picked up no less than 2 punctures, and with only 1 spare wheel, he was unable to complete the long road section to the Swartkops racetrack and was forced to retire. Stories of heartache and bad luck were now the order of the day. The engine underneath the bonnet of the Castrol Toyota of Leroy Polter and Alvin Coetzee had cried enough, and their season filled with bad luck continued. Hugo Zulu and Carl Peskin started the final dirt stages in 8th position overall. 7th was a little too far away, and Wilken in 9th was too far back to pose a threat, which allowed the BP Polo driver to take it easy and conserve his car over the rough stage 9, and to ensure that he didn't pick up any punctures. He didn't, and although he had to eat a lot of dust inside the car, the talented driver emerged from the gravel stages with his 8th position well intact.
Yeah, I did. We have lots of dust coming into the car, but nonetheless, we took it easy. It's the last stage, major stage, and frankly, we're in the lead, so there's no need to take any risks, but I'm glad to have finished.
Johnny Gemmel and Carolyn Swan were also regarded as pre-event favourites, but sadly for sponsors Toyota, there wasn't much that Gemmel could do to affect the top of the leaderboard. But it wasn't all lost for the Toyota driver. With his main championship rival retiring on day 1, Gemmel will close the points gap on the championship points table, and after stage 9, he moved up into 6th position. Sebastian Klaassen and Cindy Harding were still holding on to their 6th position overall, but the Monster Energy Ford was lucky to survive stage 8. On the tough stage 9, Klaassen took it easy to avoid getting punctures, and although he had to hand over his 6th position to a charging Gemmel, 7th was still a career best. The charge up the leaderboard on day 2 from Hans Weiss and Bjorn de Gant was simply remarkable. The Dutch-speaking duo was now in 5th position and just 13 seconds behind 4th place, but the BP Polo still had to contend with a tricky stage 9.
You know, it's quite difficult to see, and the notes are not perfect, so this one was not a good stage for us.
And once again, stage 9 lived up to its reputation. Weiss had lots to gain and pushed hard, but another puncture put an end to his charge.
We had a puncture immediately after the start, so we had the whole stage with a puncture.
Former rally leaders Jan Habig and Robert Paisley still had their sights set on a podium position and close to within 17 seconds of 3rd placed Hein Latergan on stage 8. The plan was obviously to launch a full-blown attack on stage 9.
Yeah, we'll have to go as hard as we can and try and salvage whatever's possible.
For the second time in 2 days, the Basil Reed Ford Fiesta avoided trouble on the tough stage 9 and recorded a time of 18 minutes and 45 seconds. But will it be enough?
It was a real good effort. We went pretty hard. Yeah, that's about all we can do for this rally.
Lateghan's third place was now under fire. The Q8 Oil's Peugeot driver first had to contend with stage 8 before putting strategies in place for stage 9.
I don't know, I'm in two minds. I mean, we can either attack and risk a puncture. So we'll have a bit of a calculation and see if it's worth the while.
It soon became clear that he did not take long to make up his mind. Lateghan opened up the taps and set the third fastest time of all on the infamous stage to consolidate his third position. He was now a comfortable 27 seconds ahead of Habich, but more importantly, just 5 seconds away from second position. The second position in question belonged to the Team Total Toyota of JP Damso and Grant Martin. Damso is a clever driver who normally takes the safer approach without taking too many risks. And so far in the Toyota Gauteng Dealer Rally, his strategy has paid off. But with just one stage on tar to go, he was now under serious pressure from the Peugeot of Lateghan. With a lead of 24 seconds before the final two dirt stages, the outcome of the Toyota Gauteng Dealer Rally was now in the hands of John Williams and Kobus Frey. It was theirs to win or to lose. Williams experienced a few tense moments inside the Sasol Ford Fiesta on stage 8.
There was like an adverse jump that we hit, and we weren't going there quickly, but it kicked the car and landed on its nose.
His lead had gone from 24 to just 13 seconds, and on the tough stage 9, Williams lost another 7 seconds to his rivals. With just one stage on tarmac to go, his lead was now a slender 6 seconds.
You know, this rally's been one of those ups and downs, so we gave it our best and we're here, so let's hope that it was good enough.
It's getting mighty close at the top of the standings, with Williams still in the lead, but only by 6 seconds from Damso. Lateghan still has an outside chance of overall victory, while Habich is probably too far back to influence the podium. Weiss leads the Toyota of Gemmel by just 9 seconds, ahead of Klaassen, Zulu and Wilken. Van der Westhuizen is still on course to record his best ever result. Gravel racing was now a thing of the past as the crews headed west of Pretoria to tackle the Swartkops Raceway. The stage consisted of 8 laps in the opposite direction for a total distance of 17 kilometres. The same 17 that would decide the outcome of the event.
Getting a top 10 on any round of the South African Rally Championship is an achievement. Doing it in a slower, less powerful front-wheel drive Super 1600 car is even more remarkable. Nick van der Westhuizen and Henry Deerlove may have earned a top 10 finish due to a large number of Super 2000s falling out, but the SA Earthworks Ford Fiesta driver kept his head down and drove a superb rally to record his best ever finish in the process. Charles Wilken and Greg Godrich had high hopes of winning the Toyota Gauteng Dealer Rally. The Basil Reed Ford Fiesta driver crawled his way up the leaderboard on day 2 and finished with a flurry on the tarmac of the Swartkops racetrack with the third fastest time, despite picking up a mechanical problem on the second to last lap. But it was only good enough for 9th overall. Hugo Zulu and Carl Peskin crossed the flying finish for their second consecutive top 10 finish in the older BP Volkswagen Polo. Zulu drove a consistent and clever rally to reach the end in 8th overall. And with 2 Super 2000 Challenge victories in succession, he now takes a commanding points lead in the new for 2012 championship for older S2000 cars. The Toyota Gauteng Dealer Rally proved to be an event with many firsts, as Sebastian Klaassen also recorded his best ever finish. Together with Cindy Harding, the Cape Town-based Dutchman kept his Monster Energy Ford Fiesta out of trouble to cross the flying finish in 7th position overall. 6th is not what Johnny Gemmel and Carolyn Swan had planned before the start of their home event, but the Castrol Toyota driver put in a fine display after losing time early on. More importantly for Gemmel, he now moves to within just 3 points of championship leader Mark Ronier on the overall championship points table. So expect an epic battle over the remaining rounds. And another fantastic drive by Hans Weiss and co-driver Bjorn de Gant. The young Dutch driver continues to impress on every outing here on South African soil on stages and conditions that he has never seen before. The BP Volkswagen Polo crossed the flying finish in 5th position overall, and with a bit of luck going his way, it will only be a matter of time before he claims the top step of the podium. And after leading for most of the event, Jan Habich and Robert Paisley were far from satisfied with their 4th placed finish. Habich was unlucky as the puncture they picked up early on the day was not as a result of hitting any rocks. So losing the rally in such a fashion did not sit well with a 6-time South African champion. 4th, however, is the Basil Reed Ford Fiesta's 3rd consecutive 4th place finish, and it puts him right in contention to try and win a 7th national title. But at the top, the podium place finishes still had to be decided. The contenders, John Williams and Cobus Frey in the Sassel Ford Fiesta, JP Damso and Grant Martin in the Team Total Toyota Auris, and Hein Latergan and Johan van der Merwe in the Q8 Oils Peugeot 207. Only 11.8 seconds separated these three teams before the final stage at Swartkops, so all three had everything to gain. JP Damso completed the 17 kilometers of stage 10 in a time of 9 minutes and 16.1 seconds. So will it be enough to steal the victory from John Williams? Not if Hein Latergan had anything to say. Latergan is a former circuit racing champion, so the Swartkops Raceway is familiar territory for the Peugeot driver, and it showed as he crossed the flying finish in a time of 9 minutes and 6 seconds. Latergan beats Damso by 14 seconds and takes over second position. John Williams' lead was now under severe pressure. The young Cape Townian was only seconds away from claiming his first ever victory. Anything slower than 9 minutes and 18 seconds would hand the victory to Latergan, but Williams kept his head and crossed the flying finish in a time of 9 minutes and 11 seconds. The Sassel Ford Fiesta wins the Toyota Gauteng Dealer Rally by just 6.9 seconds.
A narrow but fantastic victory for John Williams, who completes the 10 stages of the Toyota Gauteng Dealer Rally just 6.9 seconds ahead of Hein Latergan. Damso came so close but settles for third ahead of Habig and Weiss. Gemmel salvages some points for sixth ahead of Klaassen, Zulu and Wilkin, while Van der Westhuizen claims a fantastic 10. It's a cold winter's day here in Gauteng, but the sweet taste of champagne must have made it better for third place JP Damso.
We're definitely happy with the podium. We know how tough it is this year to get a podium, and you know, for Total they've been wanting this, so this is for them and for my crew, and for Grant this is his first podium as well, so great result.
Hein Latergan came so close, but second place is his best position since acquiring the Peugeot 207.
It was a very good day. We came from 50 seconds behind, and at the end we caught JP with the last stage. He was 6 seconds ahead of us, and the last stage we pulled it off 10 seconds.
And the chance to spray the champagne from the top of the podium for John Williams, his first ever victory.
It wasn't easy, but you know, we worked hard from the first stage when we saw all the chaos to just manage the rally right through, and yeah, we were, you know, it was a couple of seconds towards the end, but we knew if we could get to the tarmac we'd be okay, and yeah, it went really well.